Hi everybody, my name is Bethany. Welcome to my fourth podcast. Back to returning viewers, and for new viewers, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you stick around and join in some craftiness, and I appreciate you all spending some crafty time with me today. My name is Bethany. I live in Denver, Colorado with my husband and our 3 cats, Elsa, Bellatrix, and Nala. I do let them in the craft room when I'm down here. Excuse me, sorry. So you may see them from time to time. Elsa usually likes to make her appearance. I don't think she enjoys me talking to the camera, but oh well. And I do apologize if my voice is a little off during the podcast. And also the reason that this is late is because I had pneumonia. My husband and I went to Breckenridge not this past weekend, but the weekend before, like the 22nd of February. And I knew that I had a cold and I wasn't feeling super great and I was feeling under the weather and my voice was really rough. But once we got up there, I realized that I think it was probably a lot worse than I thought. I mean, obviously I'm not thin by any means. But going up one flight of stairs had me huffing and puffing quite literally for quite a few minutes, even just like after doing it. And it wasn't even carrying anything, like I wasn't doing anything out of the norm. And it was not normal. And I was coughing a lot, and I'll spare you from all the details. But it was not good. And then when we had gone to dinner, actually like in Breckenridge at some really crappy place that I don't ever want to go to again. I had to stop once on the way from like the parking lot, which was somewhat far away, to the restaurant, and then back, like huffing and puffing. Granted, it was cold outside, but I felt like my lungs were on fire. And then the second night we were there, the night before we were gonna leave, my chest, like right here, hurt, and it was coming and going. And I didn't think necessarily that I was having a heart attack, but I was still concerned, so we went to the ER, and long story short, I had pneumonia. So I took Monday and Tuesday off of last week to rest, and then my boss was very understanding, luckily, so I got to work from home on Wednesday, and then I worked at my actual job site Thursday and Friday. But I still have a residual cough, and my voice is still a little off. But that's also why this podcast is late, so I apologize. I just was not feeling up to it when I had pneumonia. So, anyway, because I had pneumonia, it did slow down some of my crojo, as some call it. So, I don't have a super whole bunch to show you this week, but I do have some. First off being, what am I wearing? And it is the, Cobblestone Raglan by Evolve Crochet. She's on Ravelry and Instagram, and I'll post it all below like normal. So let me just go ahead and show you. Oops. It is finished. I did wear it to work today. It's super cozy. It's made of just puff stitches. Obviously, like besides the cuffs and whatnot. So I did have to add quite a bit to the length. Originally it stopped like right here, and I'm just not comfortable with that. So I added, I don't know, 4 or 5 rows. Sorry. This is awkward. This is normal for me, sorry. Excuse me. So those were all of my bobbins. She dropped my bobbin case. I guess I'm picking those up later. Bitch. Gosh, I hope you guys didn't hear that. Whew. Am I allowed to say that on YouTube? Probably not. It's too late. Anyway, that's Elsa. And clearly she was not a fan of my bobbins. That's really upsetting. Alright, anyway. So because I had pneumonia, I was supposed to finish this actually the weekend that I got sick, but Colleen from Evolve Crochet, she extended the test because a bunch of us were sick and we just were not going to be done in time, unfortunately. But I did finish it. I finished it a couple of days ago. I just got finished taking some pictures with my husband, so I'll be posting those, or those will already be posted on Instagram by the time this is up. So, but it does go from a size small, I want to say, to a size 3X. It is very cozy. I'm still worried about the yarn I used, which was Lion Brand Jeans yarn Pilling. It's a very loosely applied yarn, and I can see a lot of the fuzz on it, and I'm just a little worried. And while it is warm, it's still kind of like holy, I guess you could say. And it was still a little chilly walking into work this morning because it was there was kind of like a slight breeze. And it was like 9 degrees this morning before wind chill, so excuse me. But that is my only finished object. So, and then I have 2 whips. I have a whole bunch of UFOs, unfinished objects, like the blanket I had started, the toothless I had started, but I just have not found any motivation to work on them. So I have, whoops, noises, made more progress on the police box, or Tardis, from Doctor Who, and it's living in this bag made by Caleisha of the Quirky Monday Craft Cast. And this would have been done and been ready for blocking last night, but I'll tell you why it wasn't. So excuse me. I don't know if you guys can see it very well. Yeah, kind of. It's not that bad. But where it says police box, it was facing the wrong way. And what I mean by that is, like, this square had to be on this side where the police started. And I had done it backwards where this was. So, I mean, I'm not sure if it's super important, but it bothered me. And so I did rip police box out and redo it. But that itself is done, so I just need to make like the little light up thingy, and then I don't have a ton more rows. I think I have like not very many. I don't know. I am on row 83, and there are only 87, so I have 4 rows left. And then I will block it, and then I will go to Michael's with my husband, and we will discuss what to do from there for framing after I block it and like super lint roll this, because there's so much cat hair. I don't even know if you can see it, but there is so much cat hair. So that's this. It is nearly finished. I'm super excited to get it blocked and done, and then I need to start on the Lord's Prayer, honestly, for my husband's grandma and father, so my father-in-law. And then excuse me, I'm so sorry, I have a residual cough. I mean, I took antibiotics and I feel like super great compared to what I did, but I still have a residual cough, so. The other whip I have is living in the bag I told you was made by Mary Smith, or made by Mary on Ravelry. She makes crochet patterns too. And I don't even know that I'm going to have enough yarn for this, but it's the, oh, son of a gun. It is the Clairvoyant Beanie by the Chesapeake Needle. So previously I had this hat on different needles. I will show you. And this set of needles was just a basic, like, interchangeable set by Boy. And this is it, and it was really bugging me because they kept coming undone here at the join. And then this was just, like, incredibly pissing me off. So, like, Debbie at the Canadian Crocheter, she's learning how to knit. She also has problems with this, and it just irritates me. And when I did, like, the sort of cables, it made everything really tight, and it was really just kind of pissing me off. So I ordered a pair of 16-inch circular Chow Gu needles, in the same needle size from Amazon. And once I transferred it over, like, knitting this became much more enjoyable. So I don't know if you can tell, but like, I think it's just 16 inches from tip to tip. While this is, sorry, I'm trying to like measure it against like my stuff over here. I don't know, probably 20 inches or more from tip to tip. So I lost quite a few inches, luckily, with that. And like I said, it just became much more enjoyable. And I feel like my tension has gotten a little bit better. And more consistent since I've switched to the ChiaoGoo needles because, you know, all the stitches are so close together. Oh no, it's like blowing out the camera. No, whatever. And I'm not completely finished, like I said, because I'm afraid that I won't have enough yarn. Where's the ball of yarn? I have another repeat and the decreases left, and this is all I have. And I don't know what I'm gonna do if I run out of yarn, because I don't want to go get another skein of this color just to finish this hat, but I also don't want to tear this hat out. What would you guys do? Let me know. But I feel like this is roughly where I switched to the ChiaoGoos. I don't know if you can see it, but there's like a noticeable line in my mind from like here to here. There's like this weird line which goes like all the way across the hat. And I think at that point, that's when I switched to the ChiaoGoos. Also, it doesn't help that at some point I had totally messed up the pattern. And I tried to fix it, and I mean, at this moment, I don't know where it is. But I definitely noticed when I was doing it. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was not gonna frog back like 2 or 3 rows to fix it. So I improvised, and But it looks like, I mean, the holes are getting a little bit smaller, so there's like this large-ish hole where these 2 lines come together, and I got to that same point on this one up here, and it doesn't look nearly as bad. So I'm trying to do the method by Very Pink Knits that she put on her channel for like keeping cables more consistent and like with less holes. Oh, there go the crappy needles. Right down there with my bobbins that my cat knocked over. Again. Anyway, it's become a much more enjoyable knit since I switched to the ChiaoGoos. I'm very excited about that. I would really love to get a set of ChiaoGoo interchangeables if I decide to continue knitting, because I think it would just make it more enjoyable overall. Now that I've knit on these, my boys just really irritate me. So, has somebody else, does everybody else feel that way too, like when they switch to ChiaoGoos? Or like just a superior needle? Not that I have anything against Boy, I mean, those are like my favorite crochet hooks. Those and Clover. But these needles just like really pissed me off. So, anyway, that is my other whip. So I only have 2 whips and 1 FO. So I'll just put this back. I'm not going to pick up those needles either. They're just going to stay there in my graveyard of bobbins. And then I do have some stash quisitions. Before I talk about that, though, I do want to like mention that I did do a bit of sewing. I sewed a lot 2 weekends ago. I was making those snap pouches that I don't have with me, but I mentioned them in my last podcast. And I made 14 for some convention that my husband's friends were going to and selling stuff at. My husband's friend's wife are my friends? I don't know. We're still in that weird area. Either way, she makes octopus out of chainmail octopuses. It's super cool. So she was selling those, and they offered to sell some of those bags for me. So I did some of the snap bags. I did 14 of those, And then I did 11 drawstring bags, which I anticipated being dice bags, but everybody, I think that the drawstring bags were more suitable for cards, although I don't know how well everything sold. I know that the first convention it didn't do very well, like the convention itself wasn't very good, like nobody came. And then I'm not sure about the second one, that just happened this past weekend. But people had wanted to use the snap bags for cards, and the cards fit in there just fine. It's just that like trying to get them out didn't work very well. So they wanted that to be bigger, and right now, like, those are all the snaps I had. And any remaining will be in my Etsy shop. If you're interested, there's mainly, kind of nerdy things. There's some, I mean, to be fair, I don't know what sold. There was Link from Zelda not Breath of the Wild, Wind Waker, which was a GameCube game. There's some Marvel stuff, Pokemon, Harry Potter, Star Wars, and then the drawstring bags will be in the shop too. So, I mean, they would make really good notion pouches. But anyway, I did sew 25 things. I was very excited. And this week I need to, what are they called? Rats. That's it. Rats. Sorry, my mind is just not with me. But my friend adopted 2 little rats, and she wanted me to make her some corner huts and like hammocks. So I'm going to be doing that this week. And then, yeah, that'll be my sewing. So hopefully I'll take some pictures and be able to show you that for the next podcast. And then as far as stash acquisitions, this is super filthy because I have cats. And Bellatrix, who is our black kitty, likes to lay on all of the colorful things. And then Nala, who is our tabby, she has some pretty dark hair too. Although, I mean, sometimes Elsa does too, but she likes to lay on the dark things and get her white fur everywhere. Anyway, back to the podcast. I purchased this. What the hell is on the inside of here? My cat's got something on here. I'm gonna have to wash it. It is a bag from Ella of no catchy name. I really wanted the llama one. I mentioned that a couple of podcasts ago, maybe last podcast. Anyway, I got one. So it's a drawstring bag. My sweater was in here, and I think this would work great for a sweater of somebody who might be smaller. But my sweater got super big and didn't quite fit in here very well with like another skein. So I think it'd be great for like a shawl or just a smaller sweater. But I do enjoy the sweater. I do like it. I would make it again, except for the fact that the pneumonia kind of put me off, and I can't do it again. Not for a while, at least. And then with the bag came this cute little notions pouch, which, here's all the llamas. Has some stuff in it from when I was doing my sweater. And it does have, it feels like a fusible fleece. It has some stuff in here. There's my scissors, my hook, some needles. Fully lined zipper pouch. So there's that. And then I mentioned, this is not all the yarn I have. I'll show you next time. I had mentioned on my last podcast that I wanted to get some yarn from Expression Fiber Arts for the Joy Shawl by the Drunk Knitter, who is Safiyya. And I looked at the pattern to see how much it called for, so I got this one, and I think it's Angel Kisses. So here's it in the bag. I did not cake it up yet because I wanted to show you guys. I apologize for the crinkling. So it's been in a bag for like 2 weeks. Oh no, it's stuck to the tag. And the tags are stuck together. Yes, Angel Kiss. Ew. Angel Kisses is the colorway. It is a superwash merino sock, 366 meters or 400 yards. I want to say it's either 85-15 or 80-20. Or is this fully merino? Anyway, here's the color. So the Joy shawl is a shawl that Safiyya made after she had her first miscarriage, and mine very much echoes hers in a lot of ways, minus some differences. But I really wanted to make that shawl, and I plan to soon after I get all of the other stuff that I'm working on finished, including Toothless. But this is so squishy. So squishy. I have to say also that this is the first really like indie dyed yarn I've ever purchased, and I'm super happy with it. I'm excited to see how it's going to cake up and how it's going to work up. Anyway, so because it is, the Joy shawl is based off of her first miscarriage, and this is called Angel Kisses, I just felt that it was very appropriate to use this yarn for it. And it does have purple, which, as I've mentioned, is my favorite. And I like the creamy yellow color, so there's that one. And they're very similar. There's just like a few differences as far as the skeins go. I don't know if you can see it very well as far as like the tones, but I'm not sure how I would, like, I know I've heard people say to like work 1 or 2 rows in one skein and then the other, but I don't want to drag it up the side. I'm not about to weave in that many ends because I'm not very good at weaving in ends and knitting, quite honestly. I've watched videos and they always just come apart. What am I doing wrong? I don't understand. So, I do have a Swift. My mom bought me a Swift a couple of years ago, and I didn't know what it was for. I know what it's for now. And I plan to put these on the Swift, and then cake them up, and use them when it's time. So, oh, that's cute. There's a little coupon. I don't know that I'm going to be buying yarn again soon. It was kind of pricey. And I get that it's indie dyed yarn, and I'm happy to support an indie dyer. I already promised myself I wouldn't buy like a lot of yarn this year, and I bought this and then a mini pack from Crafternoon Treats. And that came, and that's the yarn I don't have down here that I wanted to show you that I forgot, and I'll show you next week. And I'm not sure what to do with this mini skeins, quite honestly. But it's like a pink, purple, and then a lighter purple blend. If you guys have any ideas for what to do with 3 mini skeins, let me know. But that's all I got. I am not super exciting this week. It's a very short episode. It almost didn't get done, but I figured a week later was better than never happening at all. So, anyway. I hope everybody's been doing well the past couple of weeks. I've been trying to catch up on all of my podcast watching, but I was doing a lot of sleeping. And if anybody has anything for like residual coughs, like if any, not necessarily medicine, I don't want to take a cough suppressant, like I want, if there's anything in there to come out, obviously, but at the same time, like if you have any good ideas to like help me speed up this process, that would be great. I've never had pneumonia before, and I hope to never have it again. This was terrible. I was like up every half hour to every hour the first night we were there, and then the second night after we got home from the ER, I only got 2 hours of sleep, and I had like a cough attack for like an hour once we got home. I don't know how, quite honestly, but I coughed for like an hour, and it was awful. My abs hurt so much that weekend. Anyway, I digress. Thank you so much, you guys, for spending some crafty time with me today. Like I said, that's all I have, but I have to clean up some bobbins now so that they're not all over my floor. So I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Oh, real quick, I did, somebody did want a tutorial on the hat I made, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. It's for paid on Etsy, in case anybody ever decided they wanted to support me. But definitely, if you're interested, grab it on Ravelry. It's free. I'm not going to charge for it there. But anyway, somebody had mentioned that they wanted a tutorial for it, and my husband lovingly built me a thing so I could do like top-down shots. So I was hoping to do that this past week, but obviously I got sick, and then this week I have to sew. Maybe this weekend I'll try to film it. After we go see Captain Marvel on Saturday. We'll see. But anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know that I still do plan on filming that. It's just gonna, I don't know when it's gonna be live. So, anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling now. Thanks again, guys. See you next time.